Record of Ragnarok, Baki, Kengan Ashura, and much more. These are the series I deem as fighting anime and have a big problem that needs to be addressed: animation. Our favourite series have been done dirty and it's sad to see. These three make up top spots in my favourite manga of all time and have been the focus of this channel for years now, but the anime adaptations of these manga have not been given the justice they deserve. All three are known for their fights. That's a big reason for why many of us became fans. All three are exclusive to Netflix, which has a number of benefits and negatives. For example, the worldwide distribution and awareness Netflix provides as a streaming service is arguably at the top in that regard, at least when the series doesn't get banned in certain countries. However, the quality seems to be hit or miss, depending mostly on one key factor: whether Netflix itself has a major role in producing the anime. Take these as a main example. Considered Netflix original, with Netflix as the main producer of these animes, pretty much the one providing the money and budget for the most part. Many have not been received well in this regard, especially when you look at the quality, or other series which may be released on Netflix exclusively have a very different production cycle. Let's take one of the most recent major successes, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which yes had a well-established studio working on the animation, but also had CD Projekt Red overseeing the project themselves. More care was definitely provided, and that's why it was able to become Anime of the Year. Now let's look at the main examples I wanted to go over. Record of Ragnarok isn't considered a Netflix original, meaning Netflix didn't produce this anime, but still probably got the worst treatment out of the three main examples. Warner Bros. Japan had the role in producing this anime. Likewise with the most recent JoJo seasons, which a number of people had major issues with. The Japanese studio that worked on the animation for Record of Ragnarok was this one, a studio that had a decent amount of previous work, but nothing considered a major success, at least considering what they worked on alone or as the main studio involved. You could even say that Record of Ragnarok as a manga, considering its sales prior to its anime, it was already pretty popular, meaning the studio's chance to animate a series like this was definitely a big step up for them. However, they didn't really deliver. The main enjoyable part about Record of Ragnarok is the fights. It's literally a tournament, that's the entire series, between gods and humans, having the potential out of the three mentioned to have some of the most flashiest and highly animated moments, similar to the most popular anime and manga in this world of the shonen genre. Record of Ragnarok had the potential to receive something like this and for it to make sense within the story itself. However, the main thing people outside of the Record of Ragnarok fandom got to see was people memeing on potentially the worst animated fight sequence in the history of anime of recent. The slide show clashing between Adam and Zeus, the climax of their fight. A moment that when many of us read it for the first time in the manga, forced us into being fans due to the sheer hype. The art was insane, the moment was incredibly intense. It was a fight many of us considered the best in the entire manga, and still to this day, looking at the manga version alone, it's definitely up there. We're now on round 10 as a quick reminder. But the anime changed all of that. It just became a laughingstock of the anime fandom due to this single moment. And even outside of that, there wasn't anything insanely good animated in the first season. The second part of season 2, yes, I would say showed the studio getting better, but still, even moments throughout there, it's not the best, at least when you compare it to other stuff studios are providing for things like Jujutsu Kaisen, and even less popular series compared to Record of Ragnarok, which aren't considered fighting series, or Record of Ragnarok is something you could say needs to rely on crazy animation, not really the story itself. It's about the fights, and if the fights don't look good, there's nothing really for us to enjoy. However, there are some positives of the anime I should mention as well. First, it did quite well on Netflix, meaning more people became aware of the series and hopefully more people got into the manga, something I've been recommending in every video talking about the anime. Additionally, the adaptation covered pretty much everything. I would say it animated 95% of the story. There were a few moments that were either changed around or like 1 or 2 sequences that were removed, but nothing too major that took away from any major plot points, so that's a good aspect. Now let's talk a little bit about Kengan Ashura. Falling into the category of CGI anime, and honestly, I don't mind it. I would even say it's pretty good. The series may look a little off at first, but it allows the fights to have an enhanced layer of depth, with some exchanges being acted out by real people to get the more realistic look of the fighters, and of course the martial art exchanges. However, it's still a big turnoff for a lot of anime fans, resulting in many, I've seen comments saying so, to not even give the anime a fair chance. Let's take the upcoming anime crossover film between Kengan and Baki. This one is being animated by the same studio that did the latest Baki seasons, with the 2D animation style. I've read countless comments of people being glad they did it this way over the CGI route. If you're one of these people, I get it to a degree, but still I recommend giving Kengan's anime a proper chance, maybe until the main tournament, the Annihilation tournament, seeing if you like it from there, or the much better option of course, reading the manga, which is personally my favorite of all time. This version of the story also has its own evolution of art as you get deeper into the tournament, with some amazing panels early on and later on as well. Apart from animation, Kengan's anime out of the 3 main series I'm going to talk about has the less reliable adaptation. There's fights from early in the series that are outright removed, characters that have pretty important roles outside of the tournament removed, and a lot of the invasion based fights were cut from the most recent season. It seems like they're more so trying to focus on the Annihilation tournament, which honestly isn't a bad thing, but of course it takes away some points for me, especially with moments I was looking forward to being completely cut for Kure Ryan, my favorite character. Additionally, over my years of talking about these series, I would say Kengan's anime had the least impact when it comes to creating more manga readers from the anime. However, it did it for me, which I'm thankful for. Now we have Baki, by far the most popular anime I'm talking about in today's video, with as well the most successful anime. I would also say it's the best animation of the group, for a more general audience that is, but still I can't say it's good or even comparable to many other series. I think a main issue with its anime is how the Baki story is actually set out and told in the manga, with a lot of the goofy explanations occurring in the middle of the fight, making it seem much more dragged in anime form, which naturally is a slower experience than just reading the manga. Additionally, Baki is a series that probably deserved the most and much more respect. As a manga, it's one of the longest running, highest selling and respected series in all of Japan. You would think an anime for this type of series, especially after the much older one, would get an insane upgrade in animation and be respected highly. And low-key, the author Itagaki agrees, saying here in this interview that the anime, yeah, is pretty good, but the manga is much better, which is him just spitting facts. Hopefully, as they continue adapting the series, we see some improvements, with it already being confirmed that Baki Dao, the Musashi arc, is in the works by the same studio who did the last season and is now working on Baki Hanma vs Kengan Ashura, the movie coming next month. That movie, for what we've seen so far, looks pretty much the same quality as the previous seasons. Even for a movie, it isn't getting an insane upgrade, which again is unfortunate. In other news related to Baki, I guess, we have an anime known as Garuden coming to Netflix. The manga for the series is something Itagaki did the art for many years ago, even before he started the Baki manga himself. Being a fighting manga, I highly recommend and would say it's probably the most underrated in the genre. It's also a series that has a lot of novels, which I believe is the basis of this film, with of course some manga stuff as well. So I'm excited. The trailer for what we've seen looks pretty good, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not fully sure if it's a combination of CGI and 2D animation, but hopefully it's an improvement over these series and gets some success. I'm definitely going to be watching it regardless. And as a quick reminder before I end today's video, I enjoy the anime for all these series. I just believe they deserved a lot better, with the main aspect that people expect in anime being amazing animation, even more so for series where fights is the main reason people watch and read them. That's everything for today's video. Shout out to these members, the Mad Lads. That's it guys. Peace.